Welcome to Eye on Gainesville. I'm Katil Feltz. I'm here today at Art in the Square. Very excited to see what is in store for us for Art in the Square 2010. I have a fish, as you can tell, a red fish. This is a piece of artwork from Kathy Little, and you'll be able to see her items here at Art in the Square. You'll need to come back next year, though, as we continue through the day and show you what we actually had in store for 2010. We are going to be visiting dozens of booths and just talking to all kinds of artists, basically from wood turners to someone who actually knits bears, also one of the banjo makers, I'd say a premier banjo maker, if you would. Everything is handmade. We'll be talking with him, and we'll just be finding out probably some of the best known secrets in North Georgia, right here at Art in the Square.
That was what it was. You kind of poke a hole in the middle of that.
Joining me now is Angela Thompson, the Main Street Manager for Gainesville. And Angela, you've been living, eating, breathing Art in the Square along with Ann Brody Hill for months now. And it looks like it's paid off for you today.
Certainly is. We have a great turnout.
Tell us about a little bit about working behind the scenes and what it takes to pull off an event like this.
Everything from organizing the artists, which really have to credit to Ann Brody Hill, and to renting tents. We have a tremendous amount of work that's done behind the scenes, but it seems to really paid off.
Art in the Square, of course, just one of the many events taking place. You have a full October ahead of you, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have Mule Camp coming up, and then we have Trick or Treat on the Square, which is a very exciting event and brings lots of kids out.
And you have the Main Street booth here today as well.
We do, and we're in fact selling the Candler Street Elementary ornament, which is the new Main Street 2010 ornament.
Tell me how that ornament came to be and how you chose Candler Street.
It really was a part of the community. Just so many people requested it, and it's been a fantastic. Everyone's been excited to see it, and I'm really excited. This is our official unveiling today to sell them to the public.
And this is the 15th ornament for Main Street.
Yes it is.
And Candler Street School, what period are we talking?
It was built in 1911, and I believe the school was until the 1960s, and now it's an office building for many businesses that lots of people know, for instance, the Carter Realty Company.
Okay, all right, well, great. Well, we hope people will come down and take a look at the Main Street ornament. And if they can't come to and get their ornament from Art in the Square, will it be available the rest of the year?
Of course, at Gem Jewelry, Saul's, and Frames Unique.
Okay, so Main Street ornaments, or you can just come by the Main Street office.
We'd love to see you.
We'll sell you one. All right, thank you so much, and good luck today.
Thank you.
I looked around the square this morning to find one of the artists that was actually at the very first Art in the Square, and that was you, Anna Jennings. Tell me how this year, this is the 7th year, differs from the first year.
The main thing is it's grown. It's just grown by leaps and bounds, and it's exciting to see not only the crowd but the number of vendors that are here.
I want you to tell us about this now. You've explained to me that this really is your chicken. You have this chicken. Does this chicken have a name?
It's either sugar or flour. It's flour, sugar, cinnamon, and brown butter.
Okay, so you have 4 chickens at home, really. Okay, so you have this one, and then you have a rooster here. And tell us about this process for creating the rooster art.
I just start with a slab of clay and pound it to get the air out, and then roll it with a rolling pin. And then I take a brayer, which is a short roller for printing, and just roll out the image, whatever I want to do, and I just enjoyed that it's got some dimension to it. And then I bisque fire the pieces, and then paint them and glaze them, and then fire them the second time in the kiln.
This is really neat. It's here at the poultry capital, if you will. We have so many famous artists, and the chicken and the rooster is something we always pay attention to. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you and find out more about your art, how could they do that?
I have an email address, creative.end, E-N-D, at att.net.
Okay.
And I work at Designs Unlimited on the Square, and can take orders through right there as well.
Okay, so you're right here on the square, right here off of Bradford Street.
Yes.
Well, great, Wayne. It's great to have you again at Art in the Square, and I just look forward to seeing more of flour, cinnamon, sugar, and what was the other one?
Brown butter.
And brown butter. All right, well, that looks good. Thank you for joining us today. Certainly many artists just like Anna here at Art in the Square. We're going to go next door now, and every year you hear me talk about the infamous screen door lady. We're going to meet her in just a moment. Here, of course, today at Art in the Square. Beautiful weather. I said earlier someone was thanking me for this weather, and I would love to take credit for it, but I can't. In addition to the beautiful weather we have here today, those of you who are from Gainesville or live in the Gainesville area, you know we're surrounded on 3 sides by Lake Lanier and so close to the mountains. What better place to be in the fall of the year? Right here behind me, you'll see some of the maritime signal flags and the maritime art. This is artwork from Margaret Cameron that is also the screen door lady that we've talked about. So let's go inside her booth now and let's talk to Margaret about what is actually involved in these screen doors that she's painted. You're going to be able to see on the front side of the booth in just a moment that we have an actual bear screen door, we have a Santa screen door, and then right here in front of me, well, Margaret, welcome to the show first. How are you today?
Glad you're coming back.
It's so good to see you. Thank you for bringing your screen door art back to Art in the Square.
I had to bring it back to the square.
Tell me about this piece here.
This is a folk art deal, and I had a series of a one-room schoolhouse, a country store, and a little white church. So they've been real popular.
One of my favorite pieces that Miss Cameron does is the bear. The screen door is actually of a bear, and that makes me think about the next booth that we're going to go see in just a few moments here. And the question that I would ask before we go to that booth is, does a bear knit in the woods? We're about to find out.
I won't let him come over there anymore while Princess.
I'm just really faking this because
I bet you were impressed there for just a moment. You thought I could knit too on top of all the other things that I was doing here today at Art in the Square, but I really can't. I'm trying to learn how from my friend Keith Rooks here, who has this booth called Does a Bear Knit in the Woods? And I think a bear does knit in the woods. Look at all the different bears that we have here today, all hand knitted, as Keith is working on another project we're going to talk about in just a moment. But all the bears, 100% wool on the inside and lovingly made and knitted. I understand it takes a few evenings during the week, which is rare for any of us to have that kind of time these days. So it's great to have something, a handmade craft or item. Now, I asked Keith about when he became interested in knitting. He said about 6 years ago, and his daughter Katie wanted to learn how to knit. And you know, dads these days are a lot more progressive than they used to be. So Dad learned how to knit so he could help his daughter. And here you have something that then Dad can do, because I know daughter's about to go off to college, as a matter of fact. So here's something that Dad can do when he has a little spare time at home, if you will. Keith Rooks, of course, just one of the many vendors here at Art in the Square today, where we're having a great time, and I hope that you'll be part of an event like this in downtown Gainesville the rest of the year. A lot of things coming up. We're going to talk about those in just a few moments, but before we leave our booth today, I want to let you know that Keith is now working on something very special and near and dear to my heart and his heart and the hearts of many in Gainesville, and that is the red elephant. And Keith has a red elephant here, and you're going to see this. You're going to see many of these around in the future. You can have 100% wool, hand knitted red elephant by Keith Rooks. So if you want to find out more about what Keith has to offer, you're interested maybe in purchasing an item like this for Christmas, as it is just around the corner, then go ahead and email Keith. You can email him bearknits, that's KNITS, at att.net. I am holding the golden ticket. This could be the winning ticket. It could be right here in my hand. It is for the quilt that's behind me. This is called Land I Love, and it was created lovingly and beautifully by the Hall County Quilt Guild. I have 2 ladies joining me now from the Guild. And tell me what your name is.
My name is Carol Johnson, and I'm in charge of the Eagle Ranch quilts. For Eagle Ranch, that the children get to pick out a quilt.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. And you're?
Betty Heathman.
And Miss Betty, you and Carol are working together on this project this year.
Next year I'll be the cohort with her.
You'll be the Carol next year. Okay, let's talk, Carol and Betty, let's talk about what you're doing here, about this quilt that's been created, and then about how you work for Eagle Ranch.
Well, we do the quilts for the children at Eagle Ranch, and the children get to pick out a quilt, and they get to take them home after they leave Eagle Ranch. But we make quilts for each one of the children, and all of them are different. Like this is just one of the quilts that a child can pick out. We have another one over there that a child can pick out, but they pick out the quilt they want.
Okay, now I noticed the one that we're looking at today has some tropical fish on it and the seashells, so kind of a nautical theme here and the sea.
Right.
Tell me about the
kaleidoscope.
And a kaleidoscope. Tell me about the work that goes into this, how you all work together as a guild to create something like this.
The different members make the tops, and then they bring them back to the guild, and the Eagle Ranch Committee cuts the batting and gets the backing ready, and then it goes to a long arm quilter, and I'm one of the long arm quilters, and then it comes back to the guild, and whoever made the top puts the binding on.
Now tell me what you mean when you say a long arm binder. Quilter, I'm sorry, long arm quilter.
That's a machine that's like 12 feet long, and you do this kind of quilting instead of having to do it by hand.
Okay. So that kind of speeds up, so you can make more quilts for more children at Eagle Ranch faster.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's talk about the raffle tickets that I have here. Tell us about how the proceeds will be used from raffling the quilt.
It helps us buy the batting, the backing, and pay the long arm quilters and the thread. And it also helps us, like for instance, this is the sashing and border on a quilt. It helps us to buy to help people, because there's a lot of money involved in making a quilt. Yes,
well, they certainly are beautiful. Now, we're here at Art in the Square today, but tell me where you're going to be in October and November so people can buy tickets to participate in the raffle.
In October, we will be at the quilt show in the Gwinnett Center in Duluth, and we'll have a booth there, and people can come by and buy tickets there. And at different times, we have it on display in different fabric stores, and try to raise as much money as we can, because we've already spent like $700 this year, because we delivered 47 quilts because they opened 2 new houses at Eagle Ranch.
Okay.
So they needed extra quilts, and we'll need to turn in some more in December.
Okay, well, our listeners and our viewers all heard that, so I hope that they will go ahead and get their ticket from the Hall County Quilt Guild. It was great to share with you and to see you all here at Art in the Square.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for the opportunity.